Hi there. Welcome to Bloodhouse, the show where we talk about art house horror films. I'm your host, Joshua Conkle.
And I'm your co-hostess and May Queen, Drusilla Adeline.
How are you?
I'm doing well. I've been booked and busy as all get out. I have so many new projects right now that I am really excited to start blabbing about, but I can't. But there are irons in the fire right now that I'm like so beyond stoked over. And like, you know, in 3-4 months when I can talk about them again, you'll understand why. Like, I'm working with one of my favorite film-related things in the world and one of my favorite music-related things in the world, and I'm just, like, jumping up for joy inside of me. But on the outside, I'm, like, baggy eyes, no sleep.
Sure. But it's worth it.
It's worth it. It's going to be really, really good stuff. So, it's all design stuff related. It's not writing, so hopefully I can get back to that soon. The one person in Hollywood writing.
No.
How are you doing, Josh?
Bad, girl, bad. I'm doing bad. I'm out here on these streets and I'm picketing. And that part of it is actually quite nice. Like, when you're there doing it, it's kind of fun because you know that you're on the right side of things. You see old friends that you haven't seen in a long time. People have funny signs. But when you're not there, it feels bad and like very existential and scary. I had dinner with my good friend Lucy last night, right after you texted me. And she is the star of this FX animated series called Little Demon, which only had one season and got canceled. And also our other good friends created the show. So a lot of family on that project. And there was an announcement yesterday that show, among many other shows, Disney was just deleting from its streaming services. So no Blu-ray release, nothing, not going to Tubi, just like deleted, gone. And I know these people, and I know that they developed that show for like 3 years before they even got a season, which was hard to make too. And they were treated terribly. And it's like this project that they worked so hard for and cared so much about is just gone. And that's so terrible. Like, they're gutted, of course, and I'm gutted for them. And there's just one show, right? Like, there was a list of like 20, 30 different projects. The Howard Ashman documentary on Disney Plus is disappearing the same month that the Little Mermaid movie comes out. That man, Howard Ashman, saved that studio. You know, like, it's just so galling.
It's really, really scary and really upsetting. I mean, so many of my favorite shows have gone off of HBO Max. Close Enough is just gone.
Yeah.
And then on the shows that I like are going off Hulu's Dollface.
Yeah, Dollface. I loved Dollface.
It's one of my favorite shows, and it's just going away forever.
Lots of shows about minorities, like Legendary, which is a drag show, is going away, or a ballroom dance show is going away from HBO Max. There's a lot of Latino sitcoms that only got one season that are disappearing. It's dark times. And yesterday I saw a quote from David Zaslav, who's the new president of Warner Discovery, and he was on CNN, I think. He's like, Republicans are back on television. He's like definitely a conservative. He said publicly he doesn't care about diversity. He just wants to, quote, hire the best people. So it's just like it's a really dark time.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
I did watch a really cool movie though.
What'd you watch? Tell me, please.
So longtime listeners will know that I fell deeply in love with a Spanish movie called Navajeros about 6 months ago. And when I was in Salem for the Salem Horror Fest, shout out to those girls, there was a Severin table. And I bought the Quinqui collection there, which is 3 Quinqui films, if you don't know, are Spanish juvenile delinquent films from the 70s and 80s. All really made by this same director, whose name is Eloy de la Iglesia, rather. And so it's 3 movies by him. And so I watched another movie in the collection called El Pico, which is from 1983, and it's about heroin addicts in Madrid, starring the same kid from Navajeros, whose name is Jose Luis Manzano. And it's really good. I didn't like it as much as Navajeros, which I think will always be top of the pile for me. This is more of a melodrama, and it's about addiction, and that's like not my favorite subject matter. I would rather watch Navajeros means knifers, so
Yeah.
like I would rather watch crime in that sense than heroin addiction, just because I am touched by addiction so deeply in my life. But it's pretty good. And I also has El Pico 2 in here where the kid goes to prison. And so I hear that's even better. And, so I really loved it. Really cool Spanish punk and new wave music. This director was queer. So there's like a lot of queer stuff. You know, this kid works part-time as like a sex worker, a queer sex worker. It's really cool.
If you like those movies, which, I mean, I know you love them, and I know listeners should really give them a shot. There's another Eloy de la Iglesia movie that was released by Altered Innocence that I did the artwork for.
Right?
Colegas. Pals, which
Pals.
is super, 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 super fucking good. And it feels like a Fast Times at Ridgemont High was made by Pasolini.
Ooh. And do you know if this kid is in that movie too? The kid that stars in all three of these?
I do not know.
Okay.
Potentially. But I can't say for certain. But it's about two best friends. One is dating the other's sister.
Mm-hmm.
And the three of them are like a little unit. The boys like have to hustle themselves occasionally for money, not unlike that. And when the sister gets pregnant, the two guys are like, cool, well, we're going to save up some money to get you an abortion. And they go around Spain doing whatever they can to make money to get her an abortion. And it gets rough.
Good.
It's great.
God, there were really cool movies coming out of Spain post Franco dictatorship. It didn't last very long because this director and the star of this basically got exiled. And this kid, the actor that stars in these three movies, died before he was 30. He was beaten to death in an alleyway after getting out of prison.
Jesus.
So, hard times.
Hard times indeed.
But I spoke with Kayla Janice there at Salem Horror Fest, who curated this, and she said it didn't sell very well, so there's probably not more of them coming. But I really recommend getting this box set. It's 3 movies for $30. It's called Quinqui, Quinqui, and it's so good. And Severin does really cool stuff.
And it's got gorgeous artwork by Haunt Love, one of the best in the business. It looks so fucking good.
And then you did Pals, right? You said that already.
Yeah, I did Pals with the nipple slip case. The nip slip.
I'm going to buy that because I love these movies.
Mm-hmm. I have also been diving back into world cinema this past week in a big fucking way. So this past weekend, I went to the Ren Fair with my partner and had an incredible fucking time. Just a hoot and a half. And then I like collapsed over at her place and she went to work the next day. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what am I gonna do? Like early in the morning, like 6, 7 a.m. with nothing to do for a few hours before I had to get it back up and go right back to work essentially. And so I hopped on the Criterion channel and flicked around to find something to watch. And there was a movie that's been on my list for a long, long, long time.
Okay.
And it was one that I recently saw referenced by Martin Scorsese as being a big influence on him. And I was like, been doing a lot of Scorsese lately. Yeah. Might as well dip into something that he loves. So I put on from 1958 and from Poland, Andrzej Wajda's Ashes and Diamonds.
Ooh, I've never seen this. I've always been curious about that.
I've always been curious. You always just see like a handful of images of like this guy in sunglasses with a machine gun and then like an empty like crypt with an upside down Jesus statue and 2 like lovers like around it. It was the only things I knew about it. I expected it to be a war movie or something, which in a way it is. I fell head over fucking heels in love with this movie. I loved it so much. I like looked up on my phone where I could buy it. I saw that there was a box set that Criterion had put out that was out of print with 2 of his other movies that like create a trilogy, not unlike the Quinqui set.
Yeah.
But that was out of print. And then I found it on eBay. And then I found that the eBay listing was for a record store 5 minutes away from me.
Oh my God.
And so I called them, drove over there, bought it, and then I went through their Laserdiscs. They had a Laserdisc of it, and I bought that too.
Oh my God.
I loved this fucking movie. It's set in Poland on, like, the day that World War II ended.
Okay.
It takes place basically in the span of, like, 24, 26 hours. And it's following, Maciek, who's, like, a young 20-something, who was part of the Polish resistance during the war, and as the war has been, like, ending, has been co-opted by a, like, nationalist Polish movement that's, like, against communists.
Mm-hmm.
And has been going around as trying to assassinate communists that he's told to go kill. And the movie starts with him very casually kicking back, laying in the sun, wearing his cool sunglasses, and then shooting up the wrong target and killing 2 innocent people.
Oh, shit.
Not knowing that he's killed 2 innocent people, and then running off. And the rest of the movie kind of takes place in a hotel in, I believe in Warsaw. If not in Warsaw, in, like, the center of the small town in Poland, where the, like, mayor of this town is holding a party because he's being promoted to, like, Minister of Culture or something now that Poland is independent again. And he's the one directing them all to lay out these assassinations. Meanwhile, the Communist Party leader, who was the target, shows up at the hotel. And Maciek shows up at the hotel with his, like, kind of boss, other assassin. And then he, like, Maciek falls in love with this blonde girl behind the bar who has, like, big mall goth energy. She doesn't care about anything. She's quoting poetry. She wants to go on a date to a crypt.
Diva.
I love her.
Yeah, amazing.
And it just, like, it has all of the movement and, like, writing of a, like, French farce, of the, like, absolute precision. This character goes into this room, they know this, but they don't know this. And there's all of these people swirling around. Meanwhile, the cinematography is some of the most gorgeous shit you've ever seen. Every single shot is the way to shoot the scene, is the single most interesting way to shoot and light that scene. So the camera will just choose some of the most insane places to be, and you'll just be like, yeah, that's right. That's the most beautiful way to shoot a man sitting under a stairwell right now.
Yeah.
It's so fucking gorgeous and so fucking powerful. And it, like, flits between, you know, having the tone of, like, a post-war thriller like The Third Man.
Mm-hmm.
And then having the, like, anarchic class comedy tone of, like, Jean Renoir's Rules of the Game or Buñuel's Discreet Charm. Mm-hmm. It is so fucking good. I cannot recommend it highly. Like, Ashes and Diamonds is the fucking shit.
It's from the 50s, right?
58.
Yeah.
It's one of Vida's first few movies, and he only died like a decade ago.
Gosh.
He was still making really big, important movies in Poland and France through until, like, the 2010s. Mm-hmm. I mean, like, he had really big international hits in the 80s and 90s, but Ashes and Diamonds is, like, his big iconic film, and it is justifiably so. It really feels both like art house and anarchy at the same time, while, like, saying a lot about a very specific point in history that doesn't get talked about enough, like the clash of idealism post-war in Poland. Because in history books we're like, and Poland just became communist.
Yeah.
And next. And it's really, really, really interesting to see kind of the idealism and nation of Poland, like, centered in this one figure of this, like, would-be assassin. Yeah. It's great. I feel like Bill Hader abso-fucking-lutely loves this movie. There's lots of this in Barry.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. Highly, highly, highly recommend. I'm so excited to go watch Canal and A Generation, the other two films in his like Warsaw trilogy. Can't fucking wait.
That sounds really good.
I freaking loved it. And it's like, the main dude's so hot. Like, he's got these fucking sunglasses, he's got this fucking punk vibe, and he's got his like leather jacket. Like, he's so great. He also died very tragically and very young, not long after the making of the movie, when he was trying to like run to get on a train and fell underneath of it.
Ugh. That happened to someone I went to college with. They decided to, I went to art school. And so this kid decided to like be a 1940s, I don't know, Jack Kerouac style kind of like romantic thing and decided to ride the rails and immediately did that, like tried to jump on a train and fell under it and got cut in half.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Riding the rails, kids, it's not as easy as it looks on television. Don't try it. Shall we?
Let's shall.
Okay. Today we are here to talk about probably the most quintessential folk horror movie that there is. I am, of course, referring to 1973's The Wicker Man.
I have come here from the mainland to investigate the disappearance of a young girl, Rowan Morrison. That's her name? You know her?
No, never seen her before.
You suspect foul play? I suspect murder.
We don't commit murder up here. We're a deeply religious people.
Where is Rowan Morrison?
You wouldn't want to be around here on Eddie. Not the way you feel.
Where is Rowan Morrison?
It is time to keep your appointment with the Wicker Man.
Hail the Queen of the Men!
This is directed by Robin Hardy, starring Edward Woodward, Britt Eklund, Ingrid Pitt, and the iconic Christopher Lee. Screenplay by Anthony Schaefer, and it's based on a novel from 1967 called Ritual. I really love this movie. It's kind of at the top of my list, really. I think it's easily the best folk horror movie that there is. Of course, it kind of created that genre. There's what Kier Janice refers to as the unholy trinity. You've got this, you've got Witchfinder General, and you've got The Blood on Satan's Claw. And those three movies together kind of created this popular genre of the 1970s. What's your take on this movie? You really like this movie too, right?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, Corn Riggs or Barty. 100%.
Joel and I have been saying that all week in our house. Corn rings are bunny.
I adore this fucking movie.
Yeah, the best.
I'd only seen it one time before rewatching it for the podcast.
Okay.
Which was like in the 8th grade.
Okay.
It played on AMC, and they had to do a lot of editing because of the nudity.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the theatrical cut. We'll get to that in a minute. And I just remember it was around the time that the Nicolas Cage one had come out.
Oh God.
Listeners might be more familiar with the like ill-begotten remake of this starring Nicolas Cage and
written by horrible playwright Neil LaBute, who's a monster.
Misogynist piece of shit.
Awful. It's just a full movie where Nicolas Cage just runs around an island literally punching women in the face.
Yeah.
Like he does it like 8 times. It's ridiculous. It's almost campy if it wasn't so terrible.
Mm-hmm. But I just remember, I remember seeing the trailers for that and hearing the plot setup of, a girl has disappeared. A cop will go to an island to find where she is. The Wicker Man. And I was like, oh, yeah, I want to find where this girl is. That sounds like a good mystery.
Yeah,
but
of course.
I'll watch the 70s one. And then you watch the 70s one and you're like, oh, it doesn't matter where the fuck this girl is.
Yeah, that's really beside the point.
It's kind of like picking a hanging rock where, the mystery is not the fucking point, guys.
Yeah.
It's
not
also... So I hadn't seen it since then, and my memories of it are very like 70s, like gauzy filter, nude women running around in a circle, and then oh God, oh Jesus Christ, right?
Yep.
And then it's one that I've like remembered and was great and been wanting to rewatch forever. And so I bought the big box set that Imprint put out like a year ago or something like that. Put it in last night and prepped for this, and from the first shot was just head over heels in love, and that did not stop the whole way through. Fucking love it so goddamn much. It's a musical.
Mm-hmm.
It also has like the kind of narrative structure that After Hours has, in which the main character is the villain. You're here to watch him suffer.
Yeah.
And it's great. Yeah, it's one of the only like horror movie musicals that's like actually a horror movie still, and not just like camp.
Yeah, I mean, it does have a camp quality to it because of the time it came out and stuff like that, but it's actually very frightening. I mean, the end of this is quite scary and upsetting.
But it's also maybe the only musical I've ever seen in which I believe all these people just bursting into song.
Yeah, because it's all like part of a ritual. It seems like it's all like spell work, you know?
Mm-hmm. But it's initially just like, dudes in the bar gonna sing about the innkeeper's daughter. Ooh.
Yeah.
And he's like, can we not right now? And then the more it goes on, the more you're like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Songs are scary.
Let me stop you right there and give a plot synopsis in case someone has not seen this, which is doubtful, to be honest. But basically, Anthony Woodward plays Sergeant Howie, who is
Edward Woodward.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. Edward Woodward plays Sergeant Howie, who is a conservative Christian policeman from the mainland. This is Scotland we're talking about, who has received an anonymous letter saying a little girl named Rowan has disappeared from Summer Isle, this rural island community. So he flies there on his little airplane and begins looking for this little girl, and is quickly aghast to discover that the people of Summer Isle have abandoned Christianity and have been practicing an ancient pagan Celtic religion. And as he gets closer and closer and closer to finding the missing girl, he begins to think that there's a plot against him, and of course there is. Yeah, would you say anything else about that?
I'd say you're spot on, right? The only other thing I would like to add is that they've abandoned Christianity and are living as pagans gleefully, happily.
Yes.
They are the most innocent, wholesome, like, delightful people in the whole goddamn world.
Yes. Well, we were texting about how the movie is ACAB. The movie seems to hate police officers. And I tweeted about it, and people from our Bloodhouse account, and someone got really mad at me. Which I'm like, of course they did. This movie, like, all the people of Summer Isle are having the time of their life.
Yeah.
Plotting against Sergeant Howie. And eventually, people have said they want us to spoil movies. They sacrifice him in a giant Wicker Man. It's in the title.
Yeah. I saw recently that there's putting out a new 4K restoration of Wicker Man in the UK. It's got gorgeous new artwork. It's being released by Studio Canal. And I saw like an account announcing this, and they posted the original poster for the movie, which is like this gorgeous burnt orange, and has got Christopher Lee with his arms up, and then it's got the Wicker Man on fire. And I saw someone comment underneath it being like, that was the original poster? Oh my god, I'm so glad I never saw that before I saw the movie. What a massive spoiler. And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you?
This movie is 50 years old. The surprise is in the title. Yeah, so I do think this movie is anti-cop in that way. I think that everyone is having the time of their lives on the island. I will say, I agree with you that they are innocent, but there's a part of this that no one ever talks about. And I've seen this movie probably 5 times, and it's said explicitly, but it's never really stuck with me until now. And perhaps it's the political moment that I am living through in the moment. But there's a moment where Sergeant Howie is taking a walk with Lord Summerisle, the head of this island, played by Christopher Lee. And Lord Summerisle says to him, "My grandfather came to this island and made it what it is. It used to be a hard scrabble kind of miserable place, and he gave them this religion so that they would be good workers.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the movie, when Sergeant Howie is being sacrificed, he's screaming at the people, don't do this. He's tricking you. The crops failed. I mean, the people are sacrificing him because the crops failed. And so they think that their gods are angry, right? And he's like, the crops are going to fail next year. And the only sacrifice big enough will be Lord Summer Isle himself. And then they'll fail again. And what's gonna come? So I would also say that this movie seems to me like kind of anti-capitalist, pro-labor, and kind of anti-religion too. Because it's not, I don't think this movie is like gleefully supporting this pagan religion either. You know what I mean? Because it very does explicitly say that these people are being exploited by a capitalist with this religion.
But at the same time, it's anti-Christian. It's not pro-pagan, but it is anti-Christian in a way that, like, because of the pagan beliefs, they honor the earth more, and they honor their bodies, and they're more, like, honest and open about the cycle of life and death, and the cycle of birth and sexuality. And like he sees the kids being led in a song about how like a man lays with a woman and a baby comes from that. And
during a maypole.
And then the baby grows up and is a man, and then the man lays before a grave and dies and a tree grows on the grave. And he's like, the fuck is this? And then he hears schoolgirls being taught by their teacher that the maypole represents a penis and a phallus, and that is a natural movement. And he's so aghast at this, he must have words with her. And it's like, no, that's like wholesome and fine. What's wrong with you?
And I agree that their religion seems better than Christianity, I guess, for lack of a better word. But it's still exploitative. Like,
exactly.
You know, it makes you think of that famous quote, like, opiate is the religion is the opiate of the masses, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're still being exploited.
Yeah, exactly. And they all live in these like cute little village. It's got like
cottagecore to the nth degree.
And then he goes to Lord Summer Isle's house, and it's literally a castle.
Yeah, literally a castle. And so this island is called Summer Isle because it's famous for its fruit, which is its only export. But fruit doesn't grow naturally on this isle. Lord Summer Isle's grandfather somehow figured out a way to germinate seeds so that they would grow. But of course that doesn't last forever because it's not native to this island, and so their crops are failing, and so their religion is kind of becoming more bloodthirsty. What do we love about this movie?
One of my favorite things, this entire movie, is the way that his quote-unquote investigation goes, because as a fan of, like, murder mysteries and film noir and anything that's, like, a brand process investigation, I'm a huge fan. But also, I find it fucking hilarious in this movie, because the moment he lands on the island, and he's, like, screaming from his little boat plane.
Yeah.
And then every single person that he interacts with, he's like, have you seen this girl, Rowan? And they're like, a girl. I don't think we have girls here. Oh, you mean a girl. Yeah, I don't know her.
So obviously trolling him. Yeah, everyone's like,
Rowan?
No, I've never heard of her. Doesn't ring a bell. And he even has a photo, and they're like, no, I've never seen her. And then he goes to, like, the 6th grade classroom, and her name is on attendance sheet. You know, like...
And they're like, oh, you mean Rowan.
Rowan. And then someone's like, oh, she's dead. And then he digs up her grave, and there's, like, a dead rabbit in there. Like, all this kind of stuff.
I love when he finds the grave, and he goes to the grave digger, and he's got, like... He's in such gotcha mode. He's like, who's in that grave? And he's like, oh, Rowan is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what happened to her? Well, she's dead, isn't she?
Yeah.
Like, how did she die? Can't remember. Couldn't say. I also love the Diane Salento as the, like, teacher taking him out back and being like, well, we don't say... And she, like, mouths the word dead.
Yeah.
Even the kids are fucking with him.
Yeah.
In one of the most underrated parts of this movie, near the end, his plane has been tampered with, so he can't leave the isle. And so he decides that he's just gonna go find this girl on his own. And it's like a montage of him like checking every house, breaking down doors, just disregarding the law entirely.
Yeah.
And he like opens a like cupboard or like a closet, and a girl falls out like limp. And he's like, oh my god, turns her over, it's not Rowan, and then she like smiles and winks at him and hops up and runs away. Like, the kids are in on it. The kids are fucking with him.
There's a great scene where he's arrived, it's his first day, and he's staying at the local inn, and people are singing that body song inside, and so he's really offended, and he goes outside where people are just like full on fucking in the field all around the inn. It's beautifully shot. There are moments when this like kind of slows down in the editing and goes slow motion, and it's gorgeous. And it really offends his sensibilities because the movie implies that he's a virgin, despite the fact that he's like 50 something years old.
Yeah, he's got that Beau is afraid problem.
Yeah, he is engaged, I guess, to somebody that we never meet, but it implies that he's like, one, a Christian, and two, a virgin. And there's a great scene at that same night at the end when, after he sees everyone fucking and is so offended, he comes back in, goes up to his room, and is trying to sleep. But on the other side of the door, there's like naked Ingrid Pitt, who's like writhing and pounding herself against the
Britt
doors.
Eklund.
Brett Eklund, thank you. Pounding against the door, writhing against it, and like... just kind of trying to like woohoo him. Yeah, it's so good.
And the next morning she's like, why didn't you come into my room? I was inviting you.
Yeah.
So, okay, these 2 points bring up something. So there's 3 different versions of the Wicker Man. There's the theatrical cut. There is the nearly 2-hour-long director's cut, which was assembled in the 80s. And then there's the final cut that Robin Hardy put together that's a little bit shorter in the like late 2010s.
Okay.
The theatrical cut was the one that I saw originally, and the one that I believe that you watched for this. It's the one that's streaming currently on Shudder.
Okay.
I watched the final cut, which is kind of in between the director's cut and the theatrical cut, and it does a few things differently. That song that Britt Eklund sings to seduce him is later in the movie, and happens not on his first night, but on his last night before the ceremony.
Okay.
And so it kind of pushes him to the like, it's the like his last straw, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
And it also kind of makes sense for them to be like, well, he's not going to be around tomorrow, might as well fuck him.
Yeah.
That I appreciate. But the other thing that it does, is that it adds scenes before he comes to Summer Isle. The director's cut has even more scenes before he comes to Summer Isle, but the final cut that I watched has just one scene, and it's the opening of the movie before the credits, and it's set at a mass at church, as they are reading off the sacrament of like, here is my body, here is my blood, like, come get your wafer cookie and wine kind of moment. And you're like panning through this crowd in this church, which is such a great way to fucking start the Wicker Man.
Yeah.
With, you know, the like most pagan quality of Catholicism.
Yep.
And then you get up to the pulpit and Howie is the priest.
Oh.
So he's not only a cop, he's also a priest.
We do get some of that in the theatrical cut, but it's not at the start. It's like little flashbacks, if I remember right, that you see every once in a while.
I think that's a great way to start the movie. I think I prefer it that way. To start on a big Christian ceremony and end on a big pagan ceremony, I feel like is a nice little dovetailing. Yeah.
I think it's interesting what you said about, you know, like, we're going to sacrifice him tomorrow, I might as well fuck him. I know that you were being glib, but that is such an interesting, that made me think that, like, so when they do sacrifice him at the end, they say to him, you have come here of your own accord. Basically, they've dressed him up as the fool, and it's like, we gave you every opportunity to not be in this spot, and you passed it up. So it almost feels like through that lens, the thing with Britt Eklund is like a test, kind of. Like,
Yeah.
this is an opportunity. Like, if you do fuck her, you will not be appropriate for the sacrifice because you won't be a virgin. So it's like they give him all of these chances, which you don't know until the end of the movie, which is so great. Like, all of these things are a chance for you to go home and not do this. And he passes it up each time.
Every person he interviews is like, just go home.
Yeah.
Like, just hang out, just go home, be fine. He even at one point, like, right before this big ceremony, they're like, just go to bed. They're like, dude, just go lay down in bed, just sleep, and then tomorrow morning that guy will, like, take you on back to the mainland.
Yeah.
But they're also constantly tempting him, too. Britt Eklund and her father, who is, like, the gayest man on the island.
Super gay. He's like Charles Nelson Riley levels of gay. He's like Paul Lynde is in this movie.
He is like center square Hollywood squares.
Yeah.
They, as he like lays down a little bit for like to get a bit of kip, they like they stand outside of his room and are like, we've got to get him. Meet me in the like field at 3:00. And it's so obviously baiting him.
Yeah.
Like, are you fucking kidding me? Yeah, and he steals his fool costume. And the entire time Christopher Lee's playing with him, knowing that it's him in the fool costume.
And it's the fool costume. He's such a fool. They're right about him. And that's when people start to pop off in animal masks. And that's how in these movies you know you're in danger. When all the little townspeople start wearing like goat and sheep and fish masks.
Yeah, when he goes to his little seaplane to start getting it moving, and like we cut back to the dock, and then all of a sudden, like over the like stone hedge, you just get like heads popping up and the little masks. You're like, ooh, that's ominous, and then seven more pop up, and you're like, ooh, ooh, fuck. I mean, also one of my favorite things about this movie is that it is brisk.
Yeah, it's quick.
It's quick. The standard runtime is like 80 some minutes. The final cut is only 90 some minutes. It is very, very quick. It's not fooling around. He gets to the island. He interviews the guy at the dock. He interviews the mother. He interviews people at the inn. The Green Man Inn, first of all.
Very obvious.
Nothing to worry about there, sir. It's just the Green Man Inn.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. And then he interviews the school teacher, the gravedigger, finds the grave, interviews Christopher Lee, heads back to interview the mom, heads back to interview the school teacher, interviews the librarian played by the incredibly hot Ingrid Pitt.
Yeah.
Also, like, the casting of this movie is fucking amazing. Casting Britt Eklund and Ingrid Pitt and Christopher Lee, but also Aubrey Morris from Clockwork Orange as the gravedigger.
Yeah.
All of these people by 1973 were known for UK-centric horror movies. Like, Ingrid Pitt was, like, as famous of a vampire as Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Like, she was Countess Dracula.
Yeah.
She was in The Vampire Lover. She was in House of Drip Blood, always as a vampire. And Britt Eklund, like, did have some, like, you know, international cachet of being in, like, James Bond movies, would go on to be in James Bond movies and stuff, but she was in, like, Endless Night and Asylum. Like, these were, like, big, famous horror stars. And the fact that Edward Woodward is, like, the one guy who is, like, you know, known for, like, more dramatic acting, and he's, like, the quote-unquote star at the time.
Yeah.
No. The audiences know what to expect when they see these characters, but, like, I'm sorry, I'm on their side. Like,
I mean, I'm on their side to a point too, because they're just having more fun and I like their religion better, but I do feel sad that they're being exploited. I'm a man of the people and a fan of workers' rights. So.
Fucking greed. But you know what? I want the sequel in which Howie is right, and they do. I mean, they do get Lord Summer Isle. They do get Lord Summer Isle, and he's in The Wicker Man next year.
Yeah.
Well, there
actually is a sequel to this called The Wicker Tree, which I've never seen and I hear is quite bad.
Yes. So this is one of the only movies that this was his first movie, Robin Hardy. His second movie was in the 80s called The Fantasist. And it is a like stalk and slash kind of movie.
Okay.
And then in 2011, he brought Christopher Lee back for The Wicker Tree. And I hear it is fucking terrible.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too.
I remember when The Wicker Tree was coming out. I remember like hearing rumblings that, oh my god, they're gonna make a sequel, oh my god, oh my god. And then like it came and went.
I have no memory of that whatsoever, and I was 30 years old when it came out. Definitely a horror fan. It must have been really bad.
It's so interesting to me, but like what I love so much about this movie, even from like the jump, is that the title card for the movie is Anthony Schaefer's The Wicker Man. And for
screenwriters never get that kind of glory.
It's also weird that it was based on a book too, that he would get that. But like Anthony Schaefer was like has like musical theater background, which like shocker considering the songs in this. But is also most famous for writing Sleuth, one of the best plays ever, which has been adapted into films twice, both with Michael Caine. But he also wrote the like Agatha Christie string of murder mysteries in the 70s and the 80s with Death on the Nile, Evil Under the Sun, Appointment in Danger. And he also wrote Hitchcock's Frenzy.
Oh, wow.
Hitchcock's last great movie.
Yeah.
So he had like such a like finger on the pulse of like UK thriller and mystery vibes. So it's like no shock that he's the perfect man to helm the Wicker Man. And
do you know what, if any, is the connection between this and Lair of the White Worm? Because on the wiki it says that in '89 Schaefer wrote a script treatment for The Loathsome Lambton Worm, which was supposed to be a direct sequel to this. Which didn't get any interest. And I feel like we talked about this on the Lair of the White Worm episode, but
we did after or around the same time that Ken Russell was trying to make the Lair of the White Worm. Anthony Schaefer was also working on another musical project based around the Dampton Worm that he was kind of poising as a Wicker Man follow-up. And I just think that, like, you know, it happens a lot in creative fields, especially in Hollywood, that, like, two properties will be independently made around a similar idea. I mean, just look at, like, Toby Jones's whole career. They make fucking Truman Capote movie, he's in a different Truman Capote movie. They make an Alfred Hitchcock movie, he's in a different Alfred Hitchcock movie. Like, that shit always happens. And I think it was just a case of, like, Ken Russell's got the green light first.
Mm-hmm. And something's in the zeitgeist, and he just wins the race.
And it's also has to do with, like, if your script is in a good place sooner, you're going to get the green light sooner. And depending on the cachet around. And Ken Russell had a lot more things in production in the 80s than Anthony Schaefer did. Mm-hmm. By the 1980s, Anthony Schaefer only had the last of the Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie movies, which is the weakest of them. It was made at Canon, and it's not
Canon.
It's not incredible.
Whenever you're talking about British folk horror, you're talking about paganism. And because unlike the United States, there's this huge thousands of years worth of, you know, history pre-Christian that we don't know that much about. And so it's very titillating, right? So, like, you know, we don't know basically anything about Druids. We don't know where Stonehenge comes from. Like, there's all of this history that is just forgotten. So even when you think about pagan religions of today, like Wicca, for instance, Wicca was created in the 1950s by a man named Gerald Gardner, who was taking what little bits they did know and, like, forming a new pagan religion out of them. So all of these religions are lost. And there's very little known about them. And that's exciting for people and also frightening, right? If you're a Christian. And so my boyfriend, Joel, has a PhD in classics from Berkeley. And so I asked him about the history of the Wicker Man as like a thing. And he told me it most likely comes from the writing of Julius Caesar, who, you know, during his travels was coming back to Rome and trying to scare Romans about the pagans that he encountered. So there's not actually evidence that this was a thing that Druids or other kinds of pagans actually did. It's most likely this was like a scare thing from Julius Caesar to other people back home. So I thought that was interesting and worth mentioning.
Yeah, I love the like battle of Christianity versus paganism in this movie.
Yeah.
And I can totally see from why this movie works so well, like across the globe and for like 50 plus years on. Because from a Christian movie viewer's viewpoint, this movie's terrifying. This is one man alone in the desert in a sea of pagans. And how will he stand up? And how will he like resist temptation?
And not just that, it's also classism. Mm-hmm. So this is an urban person going to rural Scotland. We have the same thing in the United States with like quote unquote hillbilly horror. You know, it's not that different than Texas Chainsaw Massacre really, or something like that, where like a modern urban person is going to the country where they find these backwards people who, you know, in England, they're always still secretly pagans. That's their thing. Here, it's like either hillbilly horror or we get like secretly Satanists. Those are our versions of this kind of.
Not unlike Dan Aykroyd's Nothing But Trouble.
Exactly.
Of course.
Great movie. Saw it with my entire family in 1990, and we all loved it. I've never seen it since. I do understand from How Did This Get Made and other things that it's not good, but at 9 years old in the movie theater with my family, I really loved it. Be very curious to rewatch it.
Honestly, I hear a Bloodhouse episode coming up.
Oh my god, we should do Nothing But Trouble.
Make a case for Nothing But Trouble as an art house lost masterpiece.
Yeah.
Let's do it. We don't have enough Chevy Chase movies on Bloodhouse. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, I feel like we're at zero, sitting at zero.
Yeah, and I feel like that's a problem. I feel like we're getting letters all the time from listeners that we've not covered Memoirs of an Invisible Man yet. One of my favorite scenes in this movie in terms of hating Howie from, you know, an anti-Christian perspective, and makes me just be like, burn him alive. I can't wait to see him be murdered by these people. When he finds what he believes to be the grave of Rowan, before he exhumes it, he's very upset and he's very angry. And he takes 2 pieces of wood and sticks them together to make a cross and sticks them on top of her grave in like defiance.
Ugh.
Imagine a movie in which there is a Christian, like such a Christian, like central character that goes to a cemetery with a Star of David on it and then sticks a cross on it. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, it's wildly offensive.
You deserve to burn, sir.
In this case, just to play devil's advocate, and I'm not on his side, I'm just going to say, though, that it is a churchyard. It is a cemetery that is attached to, that is a churchyard. So it's like in the shadow of the old church, which is now decrepit because no one's a Christian anymore. They've like abandoned this building.
But as they point out, it's no longer
used for that purpose.
Well, it's not not sanctified, but it's sacred ground. It's no longer like blessed ground. So it's technically not a Christian graveyard anymore. Okay. But I do love that on Summer Isle, they are very modern and they are, for being, you know, country island people. but they have the pagan beliefs, but they're very like modern in every other way. And the like crumbling past religion is Christianity.
Yeah. It's interesting.
I love that. I love that inversion. I love like seeing like a future society. Like I wish in Blade Runner we were getting like churches bombed out, and people being like, crosses were everywhere. We don't know what they mean, but we do know that Christians like their crosses and they ate flesh apparently. We don't know. And like, you know, all the robots are praising fucking Pan. Like,
yeah. I'm curious. I mean, I don't want to speak out of school because I actually don't know that much about this. So perhaps somebody who's like British or Scottish listening to this can let us know. But it is interesting that Sergeant Howie is Catholic, which of course is, I think, the most popular religion of Scotland and Ireland. But I would wonder what the relationship is between Catholicism and the Church of England, because England is so colonialist, and like imposes so much on the people of Ireland and Scotland. So it's weird because in a sense, like you could view Catholicism as like an oppressed religion from the Church of England. And I know that dynamic plays out really strongly in Ireland. So like if you watch Derry Girls on Netflix, they're from the Catholic part of Ireland and they are very clearly oppressed by Protestants. And it's like a big dynamic. So I don't know. I'm interested and it's interesting that he's Catholic for that reason to me.
Absolutely agreed. I've always been very, very interested in the like inter-fighting between Christians in that way.
Yeah.
Because they can't just... There's not enough people for them to repress. They have to repress each other somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fucking shit.
Anyway. Do we have anything else to say about this?
Other than, hand me the stick, I want to light the torch. Let's fucking go. Zillow listings for Summer Isle. You see anything?
Fuck, I would live there in a minute.
Heartbeat. Come on.
Heartbeat. I did grow up, I grew up in Washington State around the islands, and I will say, this is all I want to say about the remake by Neil LaBute and Nicolas Cage, is that it's set on Orcas Island, which is one of the beautiful San Juan Islands in Washington State where I grew up. So I do like that about it, and that's it. If you were making a Wicker Man in America, the only place to set it is the San Juan Islands of Washington State.
You're 100% right. Yeah. Something that I like about Neil LaBute's Wicker Man, I will say, is the ending. Because unlike the Robin Hardy version, it doesn't just end with him and the Wicker Man and then it's over. It jumps forward a year and goes back to New York City or San Francisco or whatever.
Whatever it is.
And the like girl who like lured him there is out at a bar. Or, like two of the girls from the island are out at a bar, like as if they're on Rumspringa. Yeah. And they start seducing James Franco.
Yes, I forgot that was James Franco.
And then credits roll, and you're like, oh, they're gonna kill James Franco! And you're like, yeah fucking kill James Franco.
They also make it an all-woman kind of pagan cult in the remake, which is interesting, but also a little bit annoying.
Because Neil LaBute is a misogynist, that's why.
Yes, this is a man who, he's written so many misogynist plays.
The Company of Men.
Company of Men. He has a play called Fat Pig, which is about an overweight woman.
Jesus fucking Christ, he's a monster.
Bad person. He's a psychopath.
I remember there was like an interview with him some years ago where he was talking about how his favorite movie is Mike Leigh's Naked, and I'm like, you would love the movie where the main character is a rapist.
But also keep Mike Leigh's name out of your
damn
mouth, Neil LaBute. Mike Leigh's like such a brilliant playwright and filmmaker. Neil LaBute is not fit to even mention his name.
Oh my god, Neil LaBute wrote the American Gigolo remake on Showtime. Fuck.
Ugh.
Pass.
Repulsive. He's going to find this too, because here's what Neil LaBute does. Neil LaBute searches for himself. He'll search Twitter for his own name, and if you mention him negatively, he'll fight you. He regularly comments on critics' bad reviews of his plays. He'll get in the comments as bold as anything and start fighting with critics. He's a psychopath.
Guess who we're tagging when this episode comes out?
Go fuck yourself, Neil LaBute. We hate you.
Go fuck yourself into the sun, you Mormon piece of shit.
All right, let's play Have They Seen It? The game where we speculate wildly whether notable figures have seen this movie.
First question. Has Neil LaBute seen Robin Hardy's The Wicker Man? Answer, no.
It seems obvious that he would have watched it, but I can also see a world where he would be like, I'm not going to watch that. I don't want to be influenced by it. I'm going to base this on the novel and not watch the Robin Hardy film. But I do think he's seen it.
He's probably seen it. But I also get the feeling where he's like, it's not that good, though.
Yeah, totally. He's like, I'll do it better.
Yeah, he's probably like, yeah, mine is better.
Do you think Mike Leigh has seen this, since you just mentioned him?
Yes. I feel like Mike Leigh has seen The Wicker Man, and I feel like he shares our take, pro-worker, and loves the people of Summer Isle. I feel like Mike Lee is just like, why is it a horror movie? They say, I don't see a horror movie. I assume that's how he talks because he's got like jowls a little bit, but
Yeah.
I love you, Mike Lee. Yeah,
you weren't doing a British
so
accent.
add like an accent to that, and that's Mike Lee.
Okay.
I can't do both. Oh my fucking god. Okay, so we know that Nicolas Cage is in the remake of this movie. He's the only good man involved in that movie. But we also know that Nicolas Cage does like 7 movies a year and is a very busy man. So much so that he recently did a movie in which he plays himself alongside Pedro Pascal. Do you think if Pedro Pascal has seen The Wicker Man?
Oh, absolutely. And I know because before Pedro Pascal was famous, my friend who's an actor who's not famous but successful did a movie with him, and they became close friends, and every night they would watch horror movies together because Pedro Pascal loves horror movies. And Pedro said to my friend, so Pedro showed my friend Black Christmas 1974 for the first time because he hadn't seen it. So he's seen Black Christmas 1974. He's definitely seen The Wicker Man.
Yes.
He's the love of my life. He's so hot, Pedro Pascal.
I love Pedro so much.
Cool slutty daddy.
Truly. Oh my god. Icon.
God, he's so hot.
I can't wait for his Almodovar movie. I
know.
Every inch of my body is getting there. There's a question. Do you think Pedro Almodovar has seen The Wicker Man?
No, for some reason. I don't. My instinct immediately was no.
I can see a world in which Pedro Almodovar just doesn't get 70s folk horror hippie-ish movies like this, where he just gets annoyed at the gauzy filters and stuff like that. He's just it's not for him.
It doesn't feel like it's his vibe.
I can see a world in which that's the case, but I know he loves horror movies. He strikes me as someone who kind of has the Martin Scorsese diet of loves old Hollywood movies, loves melodramas and musicals, and then loves international art house classics.
He's in it for the Technicolor and the gowns and stuff.
Yeah. But I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of beauty in The Wicker Man. It's a different kind of beauty. But I feel
absolutely.
Yeah.
Do you know what Pedro Almodovar loves? Mildred Pierce.
Yes. 110%.
He loves that movie.
Yeah, he goes to bed, but he also loves horror movies. He loves Murray, but he loves Murray Baba. He loves
he needs
that.
The style.
He needs the style. He needs the Technicolor,
yeah.
And he's right. And I'm typically the exact same way. But I can sink my fucking fangs into something like this.
This has a lot of style. It's just not that style.
It's just cottage. It's cottagecore.
It's cottagecore.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that certainly.
Oh my god.
Do you think British pop star Adele has ever seen The Wicker Man?
I would say yes, Adele has seen The Wicker Man. I would say, so, 2 pop stars really fast. Adele and Lana Del Rey have both seen The Wicker Man.
Don't you dare come for Lana Del Rey.
I will say,
I know you don't like her.
I will say, I think Adele likes The Wicker Man, and Lana Del Rey is terrified of The Wicker Man. I think Lana Del Rey thinks this is one of the scariest movies she's ever seen.
I mean, Lana Del Rey is chomping on this aesthetic a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I think that she gets that part of it, at least.
Or her stylist does. You're right.
Yeah. Whoever directs her music videos or whatever.
But Lana Del Rey gives, the person, not the musician, gives me, big Crizzo energy. That she would be like, I hope he finds that girl. Oh, no. Get that girl away from here.
I think Lana Del Rey would see herself in Britt Eklund here. Whether or not that's actually true, I think that's what she would imprint on.
I feel like Lorde would see herself in Britt Eklund here.
See, I can't stand Lorde.
I love Lorde.
Dislike her intensely.
You know who loves The Wicker Man? Lorde.
Oh, I bet that's true. Do you think Amy Winehouse ever saw The Wicker Man?
Oh, 100%.
That's someone I love.
Yeah. I get the feeling that Amy Winehouse also enjoyed. I feel like she wasn't a big horror fan.
Yeah.
But I feel like she did enjoy a good bit of a spook here and there.
Yeah.
Okay. So My final, because this is a musical,
Mm-hmm.
in a sense. Do you think Stephen Sondheim ever saw The Wicker Man?
I think so. I thought you were going to say Andrew Lloyd Webber, in which case I was going to say probably, but ew.
Andrew Lolo Bellotti?
I love Stephen Sondheim so much. I feel like he would have seen this. I don't know if he would like this or not.
I don't know. He might be like, about like all these like grubby poor people.
And the music probably would not feel very sophisticated to Stephen Sondheim.
No.
Whose music is so complicated and rich and, yeah.
But he also loves horror.
I mean, he made Sweeney Todd, right? He wrote Sweeney Todd.
Mm-hmm. Well, and he and Anthony Perkins were a little like mystery horror buddies. Like
Sure,
they made The Last of Sheila.
Yeah.
And apparently they wrote multiple other like murder mystery and horror screenplays that were never produced.
That's a shame, because Last of Sheila fucking rules.
Yeah. I feel like there's a world in which his friends brought over a print of The Wicker Man in 1975 and watched it in his chic New York loft or townhouse or whatever.
Yeah.
And he was stoned out of his mind. And it was like, I liked it. It was short. I feel like something like that.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be his review of it or something like that. But
Yeah.
I feel like he would enjoy it to a point. I feel like he would watch it and be inspired to make his horror musical. But I feel like it's almost in the Neil Butte way, him being like, I like it. I could do it better.
You know, when I was 21 and I moved to New York, my first boss, whose name I won't mention, but he is a famous playwright, tried to set me up with Stephen Sondheim.
And how old was Stephen Sondheim at the time?
50 years older than me. So I was like 22 and he was 72. And my boss was like, you know, he just broke up with his boyfriend. He likes younger men. And I was like, he's 50 years older than me. But also, apparently, everyone in theater in New York knows or claims that they know that Stephen Sondheim had a secret torture dungeon in his apartment. That he was like really into S&M secretly.
Listen. I would at least go on a date.
I mean,
I know I'm not his type, but like, I want to find out. I also like, it just feels like he'd be good people to know. Like, I don't know.
I was so stupid when I was young because I was, first of all, I was so hot. I thought that I was ugly and I was poor. And so I was like, I don't want to go out with someone who's rich because I'm poor and it'll make me feel like, you know, bad about myself. If I had my brain now at 42 in my 22-year-old body, I would be bilking these men for everything.
You could have been in the Sondheim will.
I could have been.
Like,
Anyway. Yeah.
Sugar baby time.
I was just too insecure for any of that. It's such a shame.
See, when I was that age,
5 years ago.
Shut the fuck up. I mean, you're right, but shut the fuck up. I was like, all the confidence in the world, and I was like, how can I find a sugar daddy or mommy? What am I gonna do? What rich person in Los Angeles was to fund my stupid DVD habit? Answer, none.
No.
So I don't know, Susan Sarandon or someone, if you're listening.
Yeah. You need a sugar mommy really bad. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this episode of Bloodhouse. If you liked it, please rate it wherever you listen to podcasts. You can email us at bloodhousepod@gmail.com. You can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. Drusilla, where do people follow you these days?
You can follow me over on Instagram at Hyde Sister, and you can go find all of my art and stuff over at sisterhydedesign.com. Keep that tab saved and pinned because there's so much stuff coming down the pipeline. Josh, what about you? Where do you lurk these days when you're not vacationing on Summer Isle?
At Joshua Conkle on Twitter, Instagram, or Letterboxd. What are we watching next week? I'm really excited because I've never seen it.
Yeah, next week we are watching one of my all-time favorites, and I am bringing in my love of giallo movies, hard and heavy, for a very different kind of giallo movie. From Italy, starring American icon Carol Baker, and directed by one of the most unsung and greatest giallo directors, Umberto Lenzi, Orgasmo, also known as Paranoia.
Sick. Can't wait. My body is ready.